looks like most people are signed in, so we're going to get started now to the Welcome to Stress Management, Identifying and Managing the Problem session. My name is Mac. I'm an executive committee member of the Young Alumni Network, and I'm the vice chair of the Growth and Development Committee. And I'm looking forward to hearing more from today's incredible speaker, along with all of you. Before we get started, I want to remind you of some quick housekeeping guideline. We recommend using speaker view guides for best results instead of gallery view. Participant, please mute your microphone, and all of them will be disabled. So if the speaker asks any one of the participant any question, so all these questions will be answered during the Q&A portion of the meeting. We've scheduled time for the Q&A after the presentation. No worries, if you have any question, just write it down so that you can feel free to ask our speaker, or you can put it in the chat box, and I will make sure I'll bring it to the attention of our speaker. Now, without further ado, guys, I know that's the reason why you're here. I'm going to introduce our speaker here, Zoe Torres. Who is Zoe? That's probably what all of you guys you've been asking. You've probably seen her on social media, but she's an advertising executive, a media personality, matriarch, a life coach, a modern day Renaissance woman. She's the founder and creative director of Zags, a boutique full-service marketing and advertising agency based in Miami, Florida. Zags help brands throughout Miami, the nation, and globally thrive as a result of her innovative ideas, personal touch, and deep understanding of the human experience. As the host and producer of Vida Mujer, an Emmy and GLAAD-nominated show dedicated to empowering women from multicultural backgrounds, Zoe has established herself as a leader in the Latin American community. She hopes to impart the leadership skills she has learned to others as a certified success coach, allowing thousands of people to find their true purpose in life as she helps them toward professional and development. Zoe's achievement rests on the strong foundation of truth that guides her through life, the transformative power of love, and the importance of understanding the benefits of connecting with your higher self in order to find fulfillment and inner peace. By understanding oneself, we can better understand others. And if we can better understand others, we can change the world. Whether in business, politics, or with our friends, and even families or fellow painters, we must all take a step inward before stepping outward. Well, please, let's welcome Zoe. Zoe, the floor is yours.
Thank you so much, Mac, and it's such a pleasure to meet all of you. Thank you for joining us here today. And for me, it's a great honor. My name is Zoe Torres. I'm the founder and creative director of Z Advertising Group, and we are a boutique agency specializing in all forms of advertising, marketing, and also production. And for me, just empowering people became a mission that I felt was very important, because years ago, before really a wellness movement started, I realized that in my own community, where I consider myself a multicultural person, and part of a community that is multicultural, I felt that there was a great need to bring in a more holistic environment, because of the fact that I had had so much success in business and I didn't really find true joy in everything that I was doing until I went inward. And that's why that has become one of my central messages in all that I do. Because when I discovered, due to getting ill from stress, so I can speak to you from the place of becoming ill, from being, multitasking, loved always what I did in any area of life. So I performed in all of those areas. I found myself feeling really stressed out to the max, anxious, depressed. And I would look and say, how could I be depressed? I have the most amazing family, support system, business. Why am I anxious and depressed? Why do I feel such suffering? And that suffering brought me to becoming ill. When I became ill, that I was diagnosed because of the pain that I felt with fibromyalgia, I was forced to have to go into a method that was not just working with my pain doctors, that one of those doctors was amazing, So a young doctor pulled me away and said, you know, Zoe, if you don't really start working on not taking all these medications to try to manage the pain, you also manage that pain with exercise and proper nutrition and meditation, you're going to maybe end up in a very bad place. So that's when I did the shift and I did take his advice. I stopped taking all medication with time. I am no longer diagnosed with anything because I no longer feel all that pain. And it was because I did everything that you will see in this presentation today. So this presentation is for you from a place, from a personal place, a place of knowing. And I know that this works. It's very simple. There are 10 steps that you are to take. And those 10 steps are going to bring to you a new life. So let's start with what is stress, right? And so stress is really something that everybody needs to have. It's a human emotion. It's our body's reaction to challenges or a demand, and it can be very positive. For example, like today, I had to hurry up. I had to get ready. I knew that there was a time that I needed to be at this meeting. So yeah, that's stress. But it's a stress that helps us be correct in all of the challenges that and all of those goals that we have put in front of us that we want to achieve. Now, it's not good when it creates an illness or it creates a condition that is not bringing us to encountering our best self. So it is also important to have stress because it avoids us from being in a dangerous situation. It makes us have that fight or flight response that allows us to be able to encounter that danger very quickly, right? Our heart races and immediately we know we have to do something. Where it hurts us is how it hurt me. And we'll see that in the next slide when we learn what are the different types of stress that we encounter. So acute stress, really, there's about 5 different stresses that now with time they have identified, but it's really compartmentalized in 2, which is the acute stress, which is something that is a short-term stress. It goes away quickly. You feel it when you have an argument with somebody, or you're in an expressway and you're upset, or you're in a mountain. You know, you're going to ski down a mountain and you know that it's going to take all of your attention. So acute stress is something that we all encounter at some point, and it is not a bad thing. Now, the next slide will talk to us about chronic stress. And that's where the problem happens, because when that fight or flight response that is brought about when you are feeling episodic acute stress, and it's an episode, and those episodes are constant, and you don't know how to manage it like it is when you are, studying and you have all these exams, but you don't take a break, right? To, in your daily practice, do something to help you calm down and be back into that place of knowing and peace, then that becomes acute stress. And that's when your body is always in an alert. It's always, even though there's no danger, it's always, that flight or flight response is always being activated. That's when you become very ill over time, because it creates health problems. And this occurs when this situation is lasting for longer than usual, right? So it's important to understand that we need to minimize that stress. And how do we identify it? Well, we identify it because we start to have gut issues. Our stomach is constantly giving us problems. We have to even visit a doctor when we were maybe before healthy. It wasn't that we were born maybe with, acid reflux or issues with our gut, right? It's that we all of a sudden start having these problems, or we become super forgetful. We have aches and pains all the time, headaches constantly, lack of energy. We have sexual problems. We have a stiff jaw or a neck that becomes stiff. We have fatigue, trouble sleeping, or we're sleeping too much because we're depressed. And we start using alcohol and drugs to manage. And also we may gain weight or lose too much weight. That's when we know it's important for us to start identifying how we feel. And that's really the main area that I want you to take away from this, is that this session is about you knowing who you are. If you don't know yourself and you don't start to understand what are those indicators, those triggers that lead to chronic stress, you will have a lifetime of issues. And that's what we're going to break today, not only for you, but for all of those people that you love and you encounter. So how do we reduce stress? Here's a roadmap. And that roadmap starts at number one, which is where I started my journey, was with contemplation. Rather than taking the dog for a walk, but I'm on the phone and working, or I'm with the kids playing when they were younger and being on the phone working, or talking to friends and having always my mind busy, going, I learned to set time apart to just engage in a soothing activity. You can walk in nature, listen to music, you can go to the beach, give your mind a break. Simply let it wander without it having any upsetting thoughts or any stressful thoughts. Or as much as you can avoid things popping up, don't follow the thought. Stay within that moment. Stay within the focus of yourself, this moment that you're having in nature or at the beach, etc. Remember that we are truly safe in the present moment. So this is an exercise, and what I mean by that is when you are in a present moment that is enjoyable, allow yourself to feel how you feel at that moment. What does this feel like? What are all of those indicators that I'm having right now, that I'm happy, that I'm in a good place? Because that starts, the more that you contemplate, the more you start training your mind and your heart that this is part of a good life, that you don't have to continue doing and exercising patterns of the past. You stay within this present moment, and you stay within that fun activity, that relaxing activity that you're participating in. And do not allow that stress to bring you to the future or to take you to the past. You allow that moment to be stress-free, because there are moments that are stress-free. And so acute stress is for, as we learned, only those moments that we need it, but it's not a lifestyle. So this will allow your mind to recharge. It'll prepare you to face life's challenges. So contemplation is number one in your roadmap of wellness. Then we go into breath work. And breath work is so important because as you take deep, slow breaths and you make breathing with intention a part of your life, you start to calm your body and your mind. You start to go from boo, 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 go, 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 to it's okay to be calm. It's okay to say things in a way that is relaxed. I don't have to always be raising my voice to compete in who's going to talk first, or who's going to have the last word, or who's going to be the smartest or the brightest or know the most. It doesn't matter. You can just stay within your breath. You don't have to get stressed over not knowing something or not being able to, at that moment, fully comprehend what's going on. So especially as for you as students, right? Some of you are new students, others are just starting to encounter your profession. And this is where breathing is so important. So you go back into your breath and you imagine that you are inhaling healing energy. And as you exhale, imagine you are releasing all that negative energy. It's stagnant, negative energy that you don't need. And when you repeat this at least 3 times in that space that you are at, in that moment, nobody needs to know what you're doing. It is a private moment that you're having with yourself. You're giving yourself permission to breathe. And you repeat this 3 times, and you're going to see an immediate sense of calm and clarity that overtakes your entire being. And when you breathe with intention, this allows the brain to truly receive energy, receive oxygen, and that calms the heart rate and allows you to instantly feel refreshed. So at the end of our session, before we start the answers and questions, I want us to do this breathing exercise together. And then some of you can tell me what you experience when you totally put yourself in that place of calm and breath work. So let's now go into being present, being in the moment. In the moment, being present will steer your mind away from negative thoughts. It's going to allow you to not think of the past or the future. It will also allow you to not be in a fear-based mentality. Find that most people become very fearful because that's what life has been like for most of their journey. Fear, maybe it was their household, maybe it was fear of not having money, or fear of coming into America because you're an immigrant. So many different fears that come into our subconscious mind. And then even though we're no longer in that condition, we continue to think about that. So it's important to learn new techniques to be compassionate with yourself and reduce that stress by reminding yourself that you are safe. You are safe in this moment, right this moment where we are together is the only reality that you have. Each moment is only the reality, not what you did yesterday, not what you're going to do in the future. So many variables. This is real, and this place right now is safe. So that's what I mean by allowing yourself to feel good and present, because it's going to give you new patterns. Meditation is also another part of an important wellness program. When you learn to meditate as a routine, right? So I recommend at least 2 times a day. I like morning and evening. Why? Because if you only have 5 minutes to start with in the morning, set those 5 minutes apart and then go up to at least 20. You're going to see the difference from those 5 minutes to those 10 to those 20. It's going to give you so much perspective and so much inner knowing. And these sessions are going to prepare you for the day. So the morning session allows you to set your intentions for what you want to face. What are those impeding stresses? And you don't need to be a victim of those stresses. You can already prepare to how you're going to meet those challenges if they present themselves, right? So it clears your mind and it gives you a relaxed demeanor because you are in a state of, I got this, not just, oh, I don't know what's going to happen. So preparation is important in life when it comes to a wellness program or anything that you're going to do with your career or your personal life. So then comes the evening meditation, and this allows you to do a review so that you don't have to carry this forward. You let it go that day. Whatever happened, you think of what you could have done better, you prepare for that, and then it's in the trash bucket. You're able to be grateful. You're able to move forward in a sense of joy, and it's very beneficial for your health. So begin each day with meditation and a grateful heart. Meditation, my friends, move mountains. So let's go on to the next slide. And it's about journaling. So as you journal, this is an important exercise because you learn to release the emotions that are stressing you. And I always like to, especially when I started my journey, I would have my meditation and then I would go into journaling. And whatever I was feeling that I couldn't get rid of, I would write it down. And then I would analyze it and I would realize what were my negative patterns, because you have to learn to know yourself. And this is a perfect way to do that because you'll start discovering what are those triggers? What is stressing me? How do I perceive life, people, all of my experiences? And then you're able to really learn to heal. You let go of things, and this practice relieves stress and it helps you grow and improve as a person. Because a lot of times we hold on to, wow, I hurt somebody, or I did something wrong, or I messed up. And then this becomes an identity crisis. Journaling allows you to wipe the slate clean, and it allows you to know what is it that you need to really focus on to change those bad habits. So then the next slide brings you to the emotional triggers, because those triggers are the ones that are showing you those patterns. So I'm very much about the triggers. I still do it in my life. Every day I have emotional triggers. There's things that creep up that are part of my past personality of being always stressed out. And so it is a daily practice to look at those triggers, to not hold on to those stressful experiences. So it takes, when you take the time to identify what is it that is creating these responses in you, then you're able to really have a very clear picture of what you need to do in life to be better. So each time that you become better, each time you see that you handled that trigger, that emotion that came up, you're going to feel like a hero, right? You go from zero to hero, and that's the beauty of triggers. They are actually good for you, and you're able to become better because of it. And as we know, this is more of the emotional, right, that we were talking about in the beginning. Emotional, spiritual, environmental, right, how you're going to live your life. But you need to move. The brain and our heart needs movement. We need to circulate this stagnant energy. And so in my practice of Qigong and Tai Chi, it's with Qigong, it's about the Qi, it's about the energy, it's about moving that energy with energy yoga. I like that, but I also love Pilates. I love to have that moment where I'm really, my heart rate is really racing. And then I like the Tai Chi because it allows me to learn how to move, how to stretch, how to go with the flow of life. So that has been my personal journey with what I love. That's why I don't ever say, don't jog or just only meditate or only do yoga. No, it's a combination of movements that bring you to finding what's perfect for you. So you have to start exploring. Don't just give up. If you're, a person that says, I don't love running, oh, I hate running. Well, it's okay. You don't have to run. You don't have to get on a treadmill and run. Then just walk, right? Or start in a class for beginners and see if you like that class. Join several gyms, join several centers that allow you to find what is right for you, like I have had to do. Because I don't just like going to the gym and just working there, right? I like a combination. So it helps you circulate blood. It activates the energy centers, and this allows you to be a more effective human being, because we have a sophisticated machinery, and our mind and our body needs that connection. Strengthening the body while calming the mind can yield strong results that help us appreciate life more fully. So now comes working on your character. When you work on your character, you are able to really become all that you are supposed to be. Strive to be the best possible version of yourself, especially when dealing with other people. Your character reflects how you function under unfavorable circumstances. Being mindful allows you to react to the stressful situations that are going to help you improve your stress response in general, right? So learning to accept that your character will always need improving takes away the pressure from not having always done your best. So here's where that comes in. Character. Character will build a more admirable and beautiful you, because you are going to be the one that makes that character come to life. Today, my friends, you are becoming who you will one day be. That is character. Don't forget it. So now let's practice patience. And this means that no matter what happens, it's important to stay in a place of peace, okay? When patience leaves you, then stress enters. So remind yourself that the key quality of people with grit, tenacity, and resilience is that they are patient. They have focused on their goals, and they have remained in a place of peace to reap their rewards. Now, it's important to invest in yourself. When you invest in yourself, you break free of limiting beliefs. And I want all of you to see yourself as having a beginner's mind, always ready to learn and grow from all of your experiences. When you see yourself as a limitless and free individual, your life can really become impactful in so many beautiful ways. So investing in yourself, congratulations, because you're here today. You are investing in knowing about yourself. You can know about so many things, but the most important aspect of being a truly functional individual, able to be a leader in any role that you take in life, is seeing yourself as you truly are, going inside and knowing yourself. You are limitless, so please do embrace your inner power to thrive. And I'd like to share this quote with you that says, self-control is strength, right thought is mastery, calmness is power. And Buddha was a very wise teacher, and he is, for me, all of his teachings have brought a lot of peace, so much wisdom, but I have many masters that I have studied, and I also invite you to study many masters because their voice will truly create a very beautiful soul within you. And now, my friends, I want to talk, thank you so much for this time with you. I want to go back and allow you to ask me any questions that you may have. But first, I want to take a moment to breathe. Let's just close our eyes for just a few minutes and calm yourself down. Just close your eyes. Do a review of your body. Feel comfortable. And I want you to take a deep breath, really deep, that you feel your abdomen filling up with air. And as you're taking that deep breath, inhale positive healing energy and visualize that positive healing energy is all over your being, from your head all the way to your toes. You are being healed and you are being given healing, loving energy. And as you exhale, let go of all the negative and stagnant energy that is within you. Whatever is weighing you down, whatever is causing you pain, suffering, challenges, anything that is not serving you well to be in a place of joy, let it go. Now let's start again. Deep breath. Healing light. Exhale. Stagnant negative energy. Breathe in healing light. Let go of stagnant negative energy. Breathe in healing light. Let go of stagnant negative energy. And now you open your eyes, and just for a moment, see how you feel. Does your mind feel more relaxed? Does your heart feel calmer? And does your entire being feel more at peace? That is the importance of learning to breathe. When you breathe, it becomes a part of your lifestyle. You are always present through your breath. Your breath brings you here and now. Your breath brings you back to safety. And your breath allows you to enter into a state of meditation and calm, so that as you start your day, you're able to better do whatever it is that you're supposed to do. And as you end your day, you're able to be grateful for becoming a better you. So now with this, I would love to meet all of you and hear your questions and participate in helping you learn more about yourself.
That was beautiful. Thank you very much, Ms. Zoe. So everyone, please, can I see if we can shake your hand like this and please to say thank you to Ms. Zoe for this beautiful session. So, I'm looking at the chat here, Zoe. I found a few questions here. One of the questions is from Ibrahim. The question is, what is a resource you would recommend to start on all the topics you mentioned? Meditation, journaling, etc. What is a resource you would recommend to start on all the topics?
I have used and I recommend apps that help you meditate, like Headspace is great, Calm is another one. So I do recommend that for beginners. I also recommend any books, any books that you find on meditation. For me, one of my great mentors, like I said, I love reading anything that has to do with Zen practices, because that has really allowed me to shift my perspective on how I see life. And not just, I was raised in a traditionally religious household, and it allowed me to understand other religions. It allowed me to understand and respect. There you go, I'm done. And it allowed me to respect the perceptions of others. And so I feel that the more that you learn about just yourself in any book, then I went from there. I've studied a lot of Dr. Wayne Dyer's work. I love him. He is, God rest his soul, he was incredible. I was able to watch a lot of his videos as I was learning. And I loved the way that he taught, because as a psychologist, he was able to really tap into our human emotions. Because Mac and our friends here today, our human emotions are really what stop us from our greatness. We have our conscious thought, and then we have our subconscious thoughts. And our subconscious thoughts are so deeply ingrained that until you are not scared to face whatever it is that you didn't like about your life, you really can't progress, because it's almost like you're just leaving it in a place of blockage. You have a blockage that is not allowing the energy to flow correctly so that you can become who you truly are supposed to be. And I've worked with great mentors with yoga, with the Tai Chi. I've worked with great masters. And that's where I think it's really up to you. I feel that, a lot of times we recommend works to people, and then it doesn't resonate. But for me, it's always been something where I believe that I search, and once I search, and whatever enters my heart as, this is right for me, that's what I follow. I learn about it, and then I continue learning. So continuing to learn, Mac and friends, is so important. It's been a lifetime of learning. When I became ill, then it really put me into a different kind of motif, where I wanted to share it with everybody, which is going to happen to you. The more you learn, the more that you feel that you are mastering yourself and that you're mastering your emotions, the more that you can see people with compassion, because you realize that they're not just doing things because they're stupid or they're ignorant. They're doing things because they feel really that that's what's correct. And so you become a more empathetic human being. You stop judging and you start understanding. And understanding is what takes you into that next level of growth. It brings you to like-minded individuals that you no longer take personal if people don't want to, practice what you preach. It's okay. It's a journey. And you let go, and you just continue your journey in a place of knowing and in a place of peace without creating conflict. So the most important thing that I want to remind all of you is, do not create conflict for yourself by trying to change others. Accept what you cannot change, live with it, and just change what you can, right? With your own voice, bringing those people that want to hear what you have to say to the table, and let the rest go. Even if it's your parents, even if it's your siblings, even if it's your partner in life, right? It doesn't matter. What matters is that you are in a good place. And when you're in a good place, trust that everything else is going to be right for you.
Okay, great. We have two more questions. So this question follows this way. How do you suggest people get started with building time for meditation into their day? How do you suggest people get started with building time for meditation into their day?
Yes, that's very important. When you don't meditate, you start your day, just imagine you start your day without brushing your teeth or taking off your pajamas. Just think of that you went out into the world unprepared. When you learn to meditate, it's because you put that effort forward. You took an action to set those 5 minutes apart, just like I put my timer for 30 minutes so that I didn't go over. You have to place a timer that if you need to wake up at 9, wake up at 8:50, so that it gives you time to just wake up, and then 5 minutes. Those 5 minutes are going to be so fulfilling that you're going to then wish with time that you had more time. So you're going to set your alarm clock 15 minutes earlier so you can have the 10. And in the evening, the same way. Set the time before you go to sleep, or if it's after you work out, whatever little space you have, find that space. You have to create that space so that you have those 5 minutes to do the review of the day. And when I started, I didn't start in the evenings late at night. I started right as I was, leaving the office. I would stay in the office 5 minutes longer, and I would just stay there and I would meditate at my desk for 5 minutes doing a review of the things in that day that I felt that I needed to work. Then I started implementing the personal lifestyle as well. So that's a great way to start. Take action, make the time.
Okay, thank you. So here's our next question. This person is Luis. He said, I recently had a traumatic anxiety attack while I was driving. And ever since then, I've been feeling depressed and scared of doing things outside of school and work. What can I do to overcome the fear of having future anxiety attacks? What can I do to overcome the fear of having future anxiety attacks?
Louis, I totally empathize with you because I had panic attacks as well. And they're not fun. You feel like you're dying, but you're not really dying because it's just your vasovagal nerve is going out of control and you are in a state of complete disarray. The only way that you can start really having a handle on the situation is I totally recommend getting help from a professional that can guide you, that can help you understand those triggers. But if you follow this roadmap that I've left for you, you're going to realize that as you become a student of these 10 steps, you're going to start realizing what are those triggers that are causing the panic attack to come to life, because they're triggers. There's things that you have been living, that you have been suppressing, that you don't want to deal with, that is coming up at the worst time, sometimes when you're driving, just because maybe there was a lot of traffic or you're late for an appointment. So it's catching yourself in those moments, pulling the car over and just stopping and breathing. You breathe as you learned here today, and you put yourself in a place that you know is safe. You become present and you say, I'm safe. I'm in my car. Nothing bad is happening to me. I am letting my mind take hold of myself, of all of me. And I am not ruled by my mind. I am the master of my mind. And it's as you become the master of your emotions, Louis, and you start bringing yourself back to that place of power, and whoever or whatever took your power away, you claim it and you say, I am a powerful individual. I am limitless and I am in a safe place. And as you start reminding yourself that you're in a safe place and you continue to breathe, you calm down, and then the panic attack passes and you move forward into your day. So breath work, meditation, contemplation, being present, being safe is very important for those panic attacks. And do seek help, whether it is with a holistic coach, whether it is with a yoga instructor that is helping you with meditation and with the panic attacks, or with a psychologist that can help you deal with what is bringing on the anxiety and bringing on the depression. I have visited therapists met for a long time during my life as I was learning about myself, and I totally love them. They have been great support systems, and I recommend it to all of you if you need it. It doesn't mean that there's anything missing. We take so much good care of going to a physical and of doing things for our other organs, and we forget that we have a brain and a heart that sometimes needs work as well.
Perfect. Thank you. Thank you. So we have two more questions here. I think I'm going to do a bundle onto those questions. The first one actually is from Sammy. Sammy said, social media is a great resource during these times, but it can also be an external stressor trigger as we may compare ourselves to others in a negative light. How do you recommend handling social media?
Sammy, that is such a great question for a person that manages social media for others, and has to create concepts of what we're going to do. And what I recommend that has helped me tremendously is creating your content of what you want to present to your audience for 30 days. Think about it. Sit down and outline what post you want each day and already create some content. One day you're feeling super energetic, hyped up, change your shirt, change your outfit, and create the content. Take the pictures, create the content. And you can have content that goes out and that you can even schedule where you can have, there's different apps that you can schedule and you could still just be in the moment for the story or for the Snapchat and you don't have to worry about the post. Sometimes it's okay to take a break. For myself, when we started this pandemic, and I had to shift into helping so many of our clients traverse through this difficult time with changing their campaigns, it was hard to just think about myself and how I'm going to present whatever I'm doing that maybe wasn't important as a GrowthCon conference, right? It was just daily posts of what I eat, what I do. And I took a break because I needed to focus my energy on others. And I took a break from the daily posting. I would still do my stories when they came up, but I wouldn't worry about the daily posting because I'm important. And it's important that we start sending those messages to people that it's okay to take a break from social media if you're going through anything, especially now in times of COVID, my friends. We are all under a lot of stress. That's why this is a great presentation, great questions. There's a lot of uncertainty, but when you go back into a place of peace and you go back into a place of yourself, I'm important. I maybe have to be here for my parents if they're going through a hard time. I have to be here for my friends and for my siblings if they're going through a hard time. Social media can take a break. And trust me, when you go back, whenever that is, people are still going to respond because you've built a community. And that's what we have to do. Build a community that's supportive, not be building a community that is about competition. It's about collaboration. It's about love. It's about compassion. It's about supporting. It's not about competition.
Thank you, Zoe. Thank you. That's our time is up, guys. So I know all of you have a lot of questions to ask, but remember, we have it on the screen here. You can all reach out to Zoe at zagcreates.com, or on her social media. She's very active at Coach Zoe Torres. Remember, reach out to her, ask her all the questions, and she will make up time for you guys to share, her insight with you. Thank you, Zoe, for joining us. All of you guys, who participate to make this event actually a success. Thank you very much. The FIU Alumni, Young Alumni Network, thank all of you. Thank you, guys.
And I thank all of you as well. Thank you to the Young Alumni Network for having me here. It's been a great honor.
Thank you, Zoe. Thank you.
Love you all.